Hey guys, this is episode 3 of My Story My Way. We're up to like 53 views on the second video and 51 on the first video that I uploaded about a month ago. Um, I've gotten some really good feedback from you guys, so I do appreciate it 110%. I gotta let you know that. But this week is gonna be more so of like stepping out on faith. When I started out in this music industry about 3 years ago, I had not the slightest idea what I was doing, what I was getting myself into, what was the first thing to get stuff up and running. I had not the slightest. But I was willing to live and step out on faith. If I had something on my shirt. I was willing to live and step out on faith. Like, to the ultimate degree. I was feeling like, you know what, if I don't do this now, it's never going to happen. Like, it's not going to happen for me. All of the stuff that I'm talking about doing, all of the stuff that I'm wanting to do, it's not going to happen if I don't step out on faith. And that's something that I try to not only preach, but practice and also teach my children at the same time. So, starting out, of course, nobody's ever going to support, nobody's ever going to pay attention, nobody's ever going to listen. Somebody gave me the realest advice ever. If you're not popping in your city, how do you expect to be popping everywhere else? But then I thought about it like this. People don't support you from your city until you've made it. Sucks, sad, but it's true. They just don't, and they won't. Like, I went to school with John Wall, Brandon Banks, Chris Culliver, Richard Medlin, Scotty McCreery, King Miz. All great people within their right. Chris Culliver graduated from Garner, went to South Carolina. He was a football player down there in South Carolina, and he went and played for the 49ers. Then from the 49ers, I think he's with the Redskins now. Same thing with Brandon. Brandon was on the Redskins, and then he went to the Tiger Cats over in Canada. Then you have Richard. Richard Medlin was on the Miami Dolphins, I want to say, and then he was on the Patriots. And John Wall started out. He went to Garner. Then from Garner, he went to Word of God Christian Academy. Then he went to Kentucky. I want to say Kentucky was the college he went to. Then from there, he went on to play basketball for the Washington Wizards. And then you have King Mez. He was track and field, same thing. All of these guys did track and field coming up. Every single last one of these guys I'm naming, they all did track and field coming up. They all ran track. They all played basketball. They all played football. So they all were involved in something besides where they started out. So I say that to say, just because you start out one way doesn't mean you're going to end that same way that you started. And I felt like, not only them, but other people here too, like Michael Christmas, Angelica Thompson. Those are the two people that I can say for me, personally, outside of Chris and John and Richard and Brandon. Outside of those people, I can say Angelica and Mike literally are those two people who literally taught me the definition of stepping out on faith. Because I sit here, again, not knowing a damn thing about, the music industry and how it works, and just putting the music out and being consistent and, building relationships. I've always been able to build relationships with people. I've always, been able to talk to a complete stranger and build a relationship from there. That's never been my issue. But going into something blind, something that you've always envisioned of doing for yourself, not really knowing the business, not really understanding the business, but still willing to step out on faith to make those things happen. So starting out, Like I said, I look at Angelica and I look at Mike. They both literally started out from the ground up and worked their way up to where they are now. Like Angelica started out in her grandmother's den or basement. Um, Mike started out working at IT and built his way up to going back to school and getting into cosmetology. Like I literally watched my friends build themselves up to where they are now. To like I can honestly say they were part of the reason why I said, I'm gonna start my own business, because they gave me that motivation that make me feel like, okay, stepping out on faith ain't really that hard. Stepping out on faith ain't really, and it's good. You're gonna have challenges. That's to be expected. My braids just got my hair braided, but you're expected to have challenges. Like anything that's worth having is worth fighting for. It's worth living for. And one thing for sure, two things for certain. Take it to your sister. When it comes to living out your dreams in color, it's nothing like it. And I sit here and I think to myself, like 3 years ago when I first started this, and I again knew nothing about doing it. All I could do was go for what I knew, which was communicating with people, building relationships with people, telling them like, hey, I can assist with this, I can assist with that. Not telling them what I couldn't do, but telling them what I could do. And even if I didn't know how to do it, I researched it. I sat down and I really cut off everything else. Cut out all the outside influences. Cut out all of the bull, and just focused on really what I wanted to do for myself. It was a personal gain for me, and that's where I feel like we sometimes get it misconstrued. Like we don't live our dreams for other people. We're steady helping build up someone else's dream while we're demising our own. So I know from personal experience, I would definitely tell anybody who literally is getting ready to walk away from a career that they've been on for 5 years, getting ready to walk away from a job they've been on for a few years, or however many years you've been on it. Don't not live out your dreams, because you're gonna always hit yourself with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. When I started out, I built solid relationships with people, and this music industry is scary and it's weird and it's wicked, and it can sometimes throw you curveballs that you were not completely prepared for. And it's put me in a space where it's almost like, well, it has put me in a space where it's like, damn, do I want to reach out to this person? Do I want to establish a relationship with this person? Like, I mean, I've learned so much, but I'm still open and receptive to learning more, because again, I'm still stepping out on faith and letting my faith lead me and not my sight lead me. And I know that can kind of sound redundant. It might sound a little crazy, but even in the Bible, it says not to get all religious, but it says, we lead, like basically, thinking by faith and not by sight, or leading by faith and not by sight. And I could be saying that wrong. I might be saying it wrong, whatever. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. But, I mean, I sit back and I think, like, wow, I wanted to work with Nipsey Hussle. That's always been one of my dreams, to either work with him, be affiliated with him, do business dealings with him, even to be signed to his label. That was something that I always wanted to do. I had vocalized this to so many people before, like, I feel like I'm learning so much from this man. I feel like he's putting gems out here for us to take and really take those gems, nurture them, and put them back into other people. I felt that with him all the way in California and me all the way over here in North Carolina. And had he had not been killed, or his, been taken away, we would have had that meeting. We would have we would have been able to communicate. We would have been able to talk. We would have been able to build that relationship that I stated and talked about years ago about us building. And now here I am now, 3 years later, and a year after he's been killed. I'm building relationships with people that's the closest to him, from his DJ to his tour manager to his artist to his A&R to, his friends, people he's done music with, people he's worked with, just some of everybody. And it's like, because I stepped out on faith, because I wasn't willing to take what my so-called friends would say, the people that was the closest ones to me, talking about how they got tired of hearing me talking about the music, how they got tired of me talking about being on the radio, how they got tired of hearing me talking about how, like, if you're really my friend and you really are my supporter, how you gonna get tired of me down? How are you gonna get tired of me trying to be the best version of myself when all I'm gonna do is feed that right back into you? I couldn't understand it. But in Hustle's words, circle got smaller and everybody can't go. Everybody is not meant to go with you on this journey. Like, and I had to learn to accept that. I had to learn how to deal with that. I had to learn how to get out of my own way and really be open and receptive to, again, stepping out on faith. And the realest thing that he told me that I will always take away and I will always carry that with me was, if you don't like your circle and you don't like your circumstances, change it. Period. That was the realest advice that anybody could have ever given me. If I didn't like my circle, I didn't like my circumstances, change it. So stepping out on faith for me was the best thing I could have ever done, because now I'm sitting here and I'm building relationships not just with his team. I'm building relationships with people that have connects to, like, Empire, Interscope, Epic, Sony, some of everybody, 300, Quality Control, you name it, and they have the Rock Nation. They have those connects to get there. Like, now I've been a radio personality for over a year now. I'm now an A&R over at a label where we have distribution through Sony and the Orchard. So all I can tell you guys is, don't be afraid to live your dreams, and don't let the people around you, don't let those that are around you or the closest to you tell you that your dreams don't matter and that you can't make it out of no way, because I am a living example. Angelica is an example. Michael Christmas is an example. Chris Culliver is an example. Brandon Banks is an example. Nipsey Hussle is an example. King Mez is an example. J. Cole is an example. So I could keep going on and on and on. And another person who recently has, like, kind of spoke to me a little bit, even though it is, on an interpersonal level, but they've ministered to me just a little bit, is OG Nunu. If y'all not following her on Instagram and get some of that good juju that she giving off, I don't know what to tell you. But she's definitely dropping gems, and she's definitely giving away, some things that'll make, especially us as women, black women, feel better about ourselves. So, again, guys, my story, my way, episode 3, stepping out on faith, was the best thing I could have ever done for myself and for my children. Y'all be blessed. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Again, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Shegreat365 B. It will definitely be a journey with us together. So that's all I got for y'all right now. It's been nice. It's been fun. But a real one got to run. I'll catch y'all guys on episode 4. Peace.